Gautam Gambhir recently got hired and he's being paid 12 crores fees per year and even all the daily allowance and all that stuff. Why is it so much of pumping of money into this particular sport?
Like Neeraj Chopra that's a much bigger achievement for him because he is a champion out of the 200 Olympic nations. Schools in China, Japan, or any other country, if they don't have proper sports facilities, they don't get a certificate to run the school.
First of all, thank you so much, Nasir sir, for coming on the podcast. It's really a pleasure hosting you here. We have been talking since last 30 minutes and I really feel that people really need to know about the impactful conversation that we are going to have. The tone might be candid, but surely the end goal of this is very brilliant, I would say, and is something that people should really know about. In all good spirits, thank you so much for coming here, sir.
Thank you, Aftab. Thank you for calling me in AP podcast, and I'm looking forward to the conversation.
Yeah.
Let's begin. Yeah.
So even before we start, I really would love if you could just tell briefly about how Gallant Sports happened in your life for the viewers listening to this. That you recently also did Stanford, and previously also you said that you got interest in this particular thing during the time of Congress, Commonwealth
Games.
Yeah, Commonwealth Games. So how did this happen, the Gallant Sports thing?
So I'm always passionate about sports. I've been a sports person since my childhood. I've played for school and college and all those kind of. Wherever I've gone, I've played. I still play tennis in my 3 or 4 times a week. So basically, in 2010. Commonwealth Games came, and that time I thought I started looking into how the players are playing, where are they playing, what kind of surfaces they are playing. So I got an interest into it, and I did a little bit more research. And in 2010, I joined one of the other companies as a director, and started this journey. We made a couple of hockey pitches in India, in Punjab. And then the journey began, and I started there in this company. I started the vertical of education. Like most of these schools have 4,000 or 3,000 kids. They have one ground, and it is mostly dust bowl. Basically, there's only dust there, nothing else. So I started approaching a few schools, and we started getting a good response, and we started making these sports fields, multi-sports fields, basically, where you can play all kind of sports, from football to cricket to tennis to hockey and or any other sport. So we started designing school grounds into a multi-sports field, and that became an overnight sensation, and we made 30 to 40 schools in the first couple of years only. And then but what happened is most of these products were imported from Europe or Australia or New Zealand.
Even China also, or no?
China was not very popular that time. So that's the story where Gallant Sports came. So what happens is Gallant Sports, I was a director in the other company, but I resigned from the director, and I started this company called Gallant Sports.
This was also a sports company
This was also a sports company, but they were more into government projects. And there I understood that we need to have a product category where we can cater to smaller towns, cities, where they cannot afford a very highly priced product or project. Mostly we were earlier working with American schools and British schools, kind of schools who had such high fees and all, they could afford these kind of projects. So I went the China way. I started importing from China initially, and very high-end products, very low priced. And so then we penetrated in the Indian educational market, which were mostly schools, universities, and those kind of things. And good part is, after China, we went to Vietnam, and there were a few Chinese companies or Vietnamese companies who had collaboration, and they started manufacturing in Vietnam. India still have not yet ventured into that Make in India kind of initiative where people can
Acha.
invest
In sports or in overall
in
manufacturing, you're
sports
saying?
manufacturing, sports surface manufacturing.
Okay.
Equipment manufacturing has started like
Hmm.
bats and balls and shoes and all those kind of things. But the sports surfaces, which is basically turf. Turf is the artificial turf. You must have heard of AstroTurf. And so nowadays every sports is played on turf, which is different kind of turf. For hockey, there's a different kind of turf. Football, there's a different kind of turf. Tennis, there's a different kind of turf. So, and similarly for basketball, there is basketball tiles, which is approved by Federation of Basketball Association, and like turfs are also approved by Federation of International Hockey and FIFA. So these are all internationally acclaimed products which are approved by these federations. So India is still a little far from manufacturing because they need a lot of research before manufacturing, and they also need to do some collaborations with foreign firms before manufacturing. So we are, as a company, 2024, we have started manufacturing now in India. We have started manufacturing athletic tracks in India. So, you know, these, if you see Usain Bolt and all, they are running on those blue and red tracks. So they are basically made out of polyurethane and rubber and EPDM. So we are
manufacturer of those.
We are manufacturer means PU is not manufactured by us because polyurethane is something which big chemical companies make, but we make the whole system. We manufacture the system here, mix the different chemicals and try to make a system, and so that is something which we have started just in 2024, but still
long way to go.
And turf, international level AstroTurfs and synthetic turf is not yet made in India. We have started making landscaping turf, the garden turfs and all, but not proper sports turf. Thirdly, the other important product is indoors, which is PVC vinyl. We have some companies have started manufacturing, but the levels of quality is not as per the international standards yet. So mostly we have to depend on imports. So we are importing a lot of such products, and we claim to be the largest importers and installers in India, and we do more than say 300,000 square meters of installations every year, which is equal to, you can say, 60 football fields, full-size football fields. But so there can be a smaller or a bigger, and we are the largest football installers in India. We have done 10 FIFA past football fields in India, most of them in northeast of, and 3 hockey fields.
How difficult it was to do it in such a part of India which is always so volatile?
More than volatile, the weather was our biggest challenge.
Obviously.
In those kind of because most of it is either very cold or it's always raining. So right now also we are making one big project in Arunachal, and we are struggling with the rains and torrential rains, and the whole team is stuck for sometimes months and doing these projects and all. But we manage. We have a very, very strong installation team. That is our strength, and we have like very, very good teams to do multiple projects. In the summer months of in India, because of the schools are mostly closed, and we get a 2.5 months cycle to do our projects. This year we were doing 48 projects together at one time. So the demand is coming up. But as I was telling you in my talks earlier, we have not yet seen the sunrise. So we are right now at 3 a.m. So we have to see the sunrise, and then we have to see the sunset. And the sunset is something which I think our Prime Minister also is thinking about, having an Olympics in India. I think the papers and the bidding process have started for 2036 Olympics in India, and that will bring a lot of change. People in India
he said that he's interested in the 2029 Summer Youth Olympic Games. I was just reading some articles about this. So he's interested in that. But I want to know from you, provided you are someone who is actually in the field and on day-to-day basis, see what's happening on the ground, both with the infra and with the sports team, whether it's the coach or the players. Do you think we are capable at the moment to do something so much close to our timeline?
2029 looks difficult because I think you have to apply for an Olympics 8 years ahead. So I think we have lost the 2029 chance, but 2036 is something which we can definitely look into, and 2040 for sure, because I think most of the other developing nations, the top 10 economies have already hosted Olympics. So, but it's a very Prime Minister sir has very good vision that we should have an Olympics, because that is something which is required by a country, not only for the country to grow as a sporting nation, but also people become more sporty. They start playing. So I'll give you a very small example. I met an Australian somewhere in Europe. So when I met him, the first question he asked me, "What sport do you play?" And if I think in India, no one ever has asked me this question. I think after
This
college,
was specifically to you?
To me.
Okay.
And so when they meet and greet, they are asking each other, "What sport do you play?" So in India, we are far off. Like, we don't even talk. I don't want to quote, but yeah, in Gurgaon and places like that, they will say, "Which drink do you drink?" So that is the kind of questions we are asking nowadays. So the whole mindset have to change. The people have to ask the right questions. People have to start playing. And we also, I don't know whether I mentioned or not, Aftab, we also run sports facilities in India.
Gallant Play is a
by the
part
name of
it.
Gallant Play, where we have moved one step ahead. In the COVID months, we thought we should have something where community can play. Like, we want people to start playing. So we have lots of these sports facilities which we have made. So we are now taking them back or investing in them and making it playable in the evenings, where the people 5 kilometers, from 5 years onwards, in the 5-kilometer range of that arena, people can come and play. We want the community, the adults, the children, the parents and the children, all should be playing. If they don't play, they will be going to a mall on a Saturday to pass time. Rather, they should be going to a sporting arena to play. Like, if you go to any European country, a whole family is going to a garden or a play arena, and they spend the whole day in some sports or the other. They are not spending time in malls, eating in a fast food restaurant.
Maybe gym is becoming one of the things in India at the moment, especially post-COVID.
Yeah, gym is a very good for adults, because we all need to strengthen our muscles. But I feel gym is a place where you have to motivate yourself to go and then be there 1 hour and then come back. But sports is something which is really different, is because you are engaging with somebody else. You are playing with a player, or you are playing a team game. If you are playing a football, you are only watching the football. Or if you are playing tennis, you are only watching the ball. You cannot think of business or home while playing. So if you ever played any game, it is a total, you can say it is kind of meditation. You are that 1 hour, you cannot think of anything else. In gym also, if you are
You can get
in a
distracted.
treadmill, you will be thinking about what will I do in the office today. So it is good for your muscles or your strength training. It is good for your strength training and your muscle building and all. But for you being relaxed or more agile and
use those
more
muscles
sporty,
actually.
then you also need to use your brains, because sports, you are using your brains also. When you are playing, you are using all your muscles, plus you're enjoying. I feel that I have tried gym many times, but I don't enjoy it.
You enjoy sports.
I'm doing it because I think I need to strengthen my muscles, but I'm not doing it to enjoy. Like when I'm playing sports, anybody who's playing sports, anybody who started even playing football or playing cricket, they enjoy because they are engaged with the bowler, the fielder, the umpire, the referee, the wicket keeper, or if you're playing tennis, you are talking to the other player and you're watching the ball, hitting it back, and all those kind of things. So it's a totally different thing. But being sporty is more sports, not gym, and definitely not chess. Chess, like a lot of people say that I play sport, but like chess, but
and not indoor games or sports.
no, indoor game, badminton is a very, very difficult game. You can play table tennis also, those are indoor games. But where you are using all the muscles in your body, it's not only the mind.
Actually, this question got skipped. I wanted to specifically ask that how initiatives like Gallant Play are helping the sports fraternity as well as people like us who are there.
So as I told you, Gallant Play is made for people like you and me who wants to play, but after college we never got a chance to play because we never got a ground to play or we never get a community of players. So Gallant Play basically was started with the idea that we build communities of different age groups or different players or adults or working people or children who wants to play, and in a injury-free atmosphere, because we have to be injury-free also because we can't afford to be injured because we are all working and we need to work every day. So these places were built, if you ever see a Gallant Play website or anything, are very, very inviting for in Gallant Play, whoever has come, 99% people have started playing.
How does that work?
Because we tell them come for trials, come and play for a couple of days.
This is a free trial.
Free trials, so that people come and start playing and they have that hitch that they won't be able to come back to play. They may not have the stamina to play, but they can come back to sports again.
And there are multiple sports happening here?
Yeah, there are multiple sports. We generally, all our arenas have badminton, some of them have swimming. Football is the most popular, cricket, basketball, tennis, table tennis, and some places we also have even yoga kind of sessions because sometimes what happens, the mothers comes with the kids and they don't have anything to do. So we try to say, okay, let's have a yoga session because they don't want to do a rigorous sports kind of a thing because they have never played even in the school days. Sometimes some of them said we never played, so and they feel that they may get injury and all those kind of things. But people are coming, people want to play, and as per our research, in Delhi only there are more than 200,000 as per our research.
2 lakhs basically.
2 lakh people who are health conscious, who wants to get back to sports to be healthy. So health and sports have to be another thing which we should be talking more about, that how can you be healthy? You can be healthy by playing. Nothing else to be done.
Coaches are also there at your fraternities.
Yes. So almost we have coaching for all these sports because we want kids have to learn. You can't just start playing without learning because any sports you need to know the right way of moving the racket, right way of what kind of steps you take. If you don't have that, then you can't grow as a sportsman. You get stuck after some time.
So I would be moving towards the problematic part that specifically when you talk about the Indian continent really exists. I want to start from the very basic of this whole problem thing. We talk about schools just like earlier we were discussing that even when we get sports period, usually it gets taken away. Even if it's happening, usually it's just kids roaming around here and there, but there is no productivity or there is someone to guide them that how to do it. So what do you think is the reason that India has this problem that sports curriculum is not majorly part of our education system, but when you see countries in the West, they have it?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Aftab. I don't want to say this, but I think our education policy needs to have sports as one of the main subjects. Like
Hmm.
if you have the PCME or English and Hindi or something, the sports has to be one of the main subjects, which has to be not only theoretical but practical, where the children have to perform sports, have to play one or two sports, which should be compulsory. As I was telling you, most of the schools in China or any other Japan or any other school, any other country, if they don't have proper sports facilities, they don't get a certificate to run the school. They have to have an athletic track now in China. They have to have a
Hmm.
football field. They have to have tennis courts. They have to have basketball courts, especially the high schools.
Hmm.
They will not give them a certificate to run a school if they don't have these kind of sports facilities. Therefore, the countries like China and all have come up in sports, so like they are now the top or the second largest medal winners in any Olympics or any sports now. So we need to have those kind of policies in India where sports should be main part of our curriculum. We have to bring sports in the top 5 or top 6 subjects. Like it has to be not a period like SUPW or a period which is like once a week sports,
Hmm.
which most of these schools I've been to, there's one period in a week for sports, and there are
Hmm.
50 or 60 people playing in one field.
Hmm.
So it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work. Then parents only have to. So the players which are coming up now, the parents are putting all the efforts to bring them to the next level, like
Hmm.
PV Sindhu's father or Saina Nehwal's father and parents, or even in USA, King Richard and both the daughters and
Hmm.
Serena and Venus. So how the parents are putting them into that is a different story. But if children wants to become players on their own,
Hmm.
the schools, the education system, the education policy have to come up to a standard where we bring in champions every day. So that is a very big thing to look into by the current government and the future
Hmm.
governments, that we should have a curriculum
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
sports oriented.
I think it's also about popularity. जैसे we were discussing earlier, in India, the national sports is hockey, but rarely you see people talking about it. This very popular thing happened that abhi India won the World Cup. So the whole marine drive wala part, if you could see it from a drone
Yeah,
picture, was jammed. Everyone was happy and
yeah.
that we are bringing the trophy. But you don't see that sort of excitement, especially for your national sports. Barring every sport, if you bar every sport, even if you see the national sports, no one is so much interested into it. I specifically really wanted to ask you this, that what is the reason behind this thing that everyone wants to go after cricket so much in India?
I think cricket has become a very popular sports
Hmm.
after 1983
Hmm.
World Cup. I think it has become very popular, and India also hosted.
Hmm.
Like if you host a World Cup, now it really changes everything. So Olympics will boost Indian sports also. As particularly for hockey, as you were saying, we have won, I think,
Hmm.
so many Olympic medals in in hockey. I think that's the
Hmm.
only sports which where we
Hmm.
have done 10 Olympic
Yeah.
medals or something like that.
Yeah.
And but as I was mentioning, a country like Netherlands have 400 hockey pitches for a population which may be equal to one of our states in India or even lesser. And size also is equal to one of our
Hmm.
states. A country like India, as per my last report I just read, we have around 40 hockey fields in India. And out of that, I think 10 to 15 are in uh, Odisha. Odisha government has hosted the World Championship in hockey.
Hmm.
So overall, we have 40 global category hockey fields and maybe another 20-30 national category hockey fields. So with a population of 1.4 billion,
Hmm.
how can we justify this. So champions can only come when this sport is so popular in Jharkhand and in Chhattisgarh and in Odisha, Maharashtra, MP, Punjab and Haryana. This sport is so much so popular. Even Manipur and Andhra and all this sports is very
The
popular.
hockey.
The hockey, but they have one field in the whole state or two fields in the whole state. It should be in every district so that the players can start playing from day one in a proper surface, a proper sports surfacing, which is, as you know, hockey is played on turf, a special kind of 13 turf they play on with a shock pad so that they are injury free. They sometimes play with water in it, but without water also. Let them start playing in a proper surface from day one. Then the players will start coming. There will be so many players that will have a problem of choice. But right now we don't have a problem of choice. Right now we have a problem of we don't have enough infrastructure facilities. The country, the government,
But
everybody
why-
has to bring in
Yeah.
more and more facilities.
But why does this come to cricket always? That cricket has everything. You see money. Gautam Gambhir recently got hired and he is being paid 12 crores fees per year and even all the daily allowance and all that stuff. Why is it so much of pumping of money into this particular sport?
I think it's also because of the corporates. They are all the brand ambassadors are cricketers, and everything is IPL has been a very big success, and because of IPL also, there's more and more popularity for this sport, cricket. But you know, there are 12 or 16 countries which plays cricket in the world. So if you are champion among these 16 countries, it's not a very big deal. But most of the other sports are played by every other country. So if you are a world champion in athletics, like Neeraj Chopra is, that's a much bigger achievement for me, because he is a champion out of the 200 Olympic nations. So he is a champion he's been a champion for world champion and Olympic champion in javelin throw. So he is a real champion. But how many corporates are sponsoring him or making him the brand ambassador, and how many people are watching him in the TV every now and then, interviewing or in ads and everything? It is not going to come till we don't start bringing those guys in. So basically we need to bring bring other sports also in limelight. So we have to promote all the other sports: athletics, boxing, wrestling, even kabaddi. Why not kabaddi? Any other
I
sport?
think it's being promoted thoda sa.
Thoda sa start. Why? Because the leagues have started. The volleyball league has started. We just made one of the volleyball league arenas. So now people are getting into other sports, but cricket is still 90%. Because also it's about money. They are a rich club. They say BCCI is the world's richest club. So if you have money, you can do a lot more than everybody else. There are so many good cricket stadiums, but there are not too many good athletic stadiums in India. So those kind of things are there.
And even I was reading this, that in Tokyo 2020 Olympics, we showed a very great example that, you know, our athletes, our wrestlers won medals there. So India just clearly doesn't lack talent. But even during this conversation, I'm really feeling the infra really lacks. I want to go to the grassroots reason behind this, that why do we lack infra? Because if your athletes, your sportsmen are performing at such a great scale on international level, then what's the reason?
I feel, to be very frank, we are not yet a rich country. We have many other problems. So sports was never given emphasis, and the budgets were not enough for sports. They were, with the Khelo India, the budgets have increased a lot, but still it is very small for infrastructure. We need to have hundreds and hundreds of sporting facilities in every district, even if smaller. Even if, like as I was mentioning, we need DDA kind of sports complexes every district, so that people can start playing in the right kind of surfaces from day one. And We don't need those big stadiums. We don't need those big like even if you're making a hockey field, we can make a sand field, half a hockey field with a half the budget or quarter a budget, but many of them, so that people can get used to playing on those kind of facilities. Like if you are doing wrestling, we should have those wrestling mats everywhere. We should have those boxing rings. Every district should have those good boxing rings where people can go and try boxing. Or if you are doing table tennis, we should be putting table tennis tables along with the kind of surface on which table tennis is played, because it is non-slippery. People are getting used to it from day one. Or badminton, we have to have the proper wooden flooring or vinyl flooring and all those kind of things. So we are playing on suddenly in concrete, because in concrete you are not trying that extra mile. So if you have to jump, you will not jump.
You don't want to risk
because you don't want
yourself.
to risk. So if you are playing basketball, you have to have a surface because the basketball loop is at 10 feet. So if you're jumping 4 feet, putting the ball and coming down, and you have to do at least 100 times or 1,000 times in every game. So how much impact can your knee or your ankle take? So those kind of things have to be thought. Third most important part is coaches are not trained. They have not even seen what kind of surfaces to be used. They are not putting their foot down that I need this. I need a proper sporting surface to train my kids, and they have to be trained. The trainer is very, very popular in abroad, and we need to bring the coaches have to be trained to the latest development, we have to bring in psychology in sports. We are like,
how psychology?
It's nowadays most of the players who are reaching Olympics or any World Cup and all they are already the top athletes. The next level is how strong is your mind. So those things have to be trained from day one. You have to win in your mind also.
You need a mental health support, basically.
You have to have mental. So these coaches have to be like they have to know. They have to learn psychology also. That how do I train my students in the field of in mind games also, because the other guy can provoke you and ruin your concentration and all those kind of things. So we have seen so many such movies where the other player is trying to provoke you, and then you suddenly go haywire and then you lose and all those kind of things. So these kind of things. So psychology or mind, strong mind is a very, very important part in sports if you really want to make champions. But Aftab, I'm not here, and Gallant is not here to just bringing world champions. I'm trying to inculcate a sporting culture in India. That is Gallant's primary objective is let's play. Let's start playing. All this will come. Like if we start playing today, if 10 million people start playing in India, we will bring in champions without any hesitation. We will have champions. But if only 1 lakh people play, we will not have champions. We have 1.4 billion people. Let at least 1% or 2% people start playing professionally, playing for fun, play for whatever. Just start playing. If I always tell all my arenas, the parents comes, they sit on the somewhere and on the phone, and they want their kids to play. It will not happen. The parents have to play if they want their kids to play. You have to set the example. Your parents have to play. If you can't play, go for a run, go cycling, go to any place. You have to show the kids that you are health conscious, you are into health, and this is a must in your life, throughout your life. If you want to live a healthy 70, 80 years of your life, you have to play. You have to have some sports in your agenda on a daily basis. For all of you also, everybody has to play. Like if we don't play, we will be mind dead sooner or later. Like we'll become potato couches on the like we will be watching all the gangs of Wasipur kind of movies, but will not And
Good
nowadays,
movie, वैसे, not
nowadays,
bad.
lot of good
Hmm.
movies are coming like
Hmm.
Maidan, and if you see these
Hmm.
new movies which are coming in sport, they are all big hits.
Hmm.
They are all people are understanding that, and they are loving these kind of movies. Any of these sports movies like पान सिंह तोमर से लेके कोई भी बनाओ ना, like भाग मिल्खा सिंह, भाग
भाग
मिल्खा
मिल्खा
भाग,
भाग.
or any of these movies have done very very well, but they have still not brought people to the mainstream that they should start playing. Like a country like India, if there is a marathon, there should be 1 million people running in those marathons. Yeah?
Stampede हो जाएगा बस.
Not 3,000. Stampede का तो है chance, लेकिन
हाँ.
they should be announcing that we cannot have the marathon in one go, so we are doing 10
Slots
rounds.
wise.
So that
Yeah.
will be news. That should be the news, not
Hmm.
one marathon. Like we have so many runners that we are doing. We are dividing into 2 days and 4 slots in each day. That should be the news.
And even I was reading one of this very interesting point on Gallant Sports website. It was about you really want to focus on building sustainable grounds where water is required less, and
Yes.
you want to make this whole process actually go sustainable.
Yeah, yeah.
But how do you practically or pragmatically impose it?
So, Aftab, we are one of the first companies who do not use cement in any of our projects. You know, the surfaces needs a solid base before we put a turf or a tile or anything. We are building from day one dynamic bases. Dynamic bases are basically bases for football, which our products are as such the water goes down to the earth. We have subsoil drainage. We have perforated pipes where the water either goes back to the earth or through those pipes to a rainwater harvesting sump. So we are inculcating this process and this program of sustainable grounds from day one, and most of the schools where we have worked, we have given dynamic basis where no water is getting wasted. It is going back to the earth, or the extra water is going to a rainwater harvesting sump. And so this is one of the processes which we are following in Gallant Sports to make sustainable sports grounds. And secondly, we are also bringing in products which are 100% recyclable. We are bringing products which are like basically no water usage is there. Like everybody tells us that you are bringing plastic products which are harmful for the environment. But you won't believe, if you do a research, grass is the most harmful product on earth because it's contaminating the water, because we're putting so much of fertilizers to grow 1 inch of grass. Either if you are wanting anything to do with sustainability, you can grow trees, that's perfectly fine, but growing grass, putting water every day, wasting water, putting fertilizers and all those kind of hazardous things inside the grass to make it look green, we are doing more damage to the environment than anything else. Of course, we are using plastic for playing, but you can understand that we are using only 6,000 square meters to play football, and in gardens, if you have a 20 square meter of garden in one house, and there are 100 million gardens, we are using so much of fertilizer, so much of water and everything. And most of our products are recyclable. Of course, in India we don't have recyclable plants yet, but the products are recyclable. So we also have to think about those things, that how can these products be recycled and how can we have more recyclable plants. Basically, the government also has to put a policy on that part, or that front.
Yeah, surely. Okay. And even I was reading the Khelo India wala thing here, that this is ministry's flagship program, Khelo India, where a budget of almost rupees 900 crores was allotted, and previously it was somewhere around 795.77 crores something. So there is this increase of 20 crore rupees. Specifically, do you feel there was any utilization of this budget properly?
Yes, Khelo India is doing well. We have done a
Hmm.
few Khelo India projects. They are specializing in indoor halls for sports, hockey, football, and also athletic tracks.
Hmm.
But for a country like India, 900 crores or 1000 crores is nothing. We can only make maybe you can say 100 to 200 or 100 to 150 fields in that budget. And out of that, a lot of it also goes to agencies which is running Khelo India, the fees, the other part of the thing. So maybe 100 fields in a year is nothing. If we want to do Olympics, we need to have maybe 10,000 crores to begin with in Khelo India. So
10,000 crores.
yeah, we
So
have
much
to
of money.
we have to have, and it will all give back. It will all give back because we have to treat them like infrastructure, roads. Why are we spending thousands and thousands of crores in roads and railways? So we have to think sports similar to how we think about road infrastructure or train infrastructure or air infrastructure, airports and all. We are making all of those. Why can't we think about sports on similar grounds? Why can't we think that this will bring the healthy India, the sporty India, the India we all want to have? So if we don't spend on sports, it's not going to bring the kind of accolades it deserves, basically.
Jaise this Narendra Modi Stadium was built, and you only said earlier in the conversation of the camera that 2,000 crore rupees was spent on this.
I don't know the actual figures, but
somewhere around
I
that
feel
only.
it may be 1,000 crores for
But
sure.
is
Just
that
imagine.
But is that needed?
See, again, it's a cricket stadium and it gives the revenue. They must have earned already the 1,000 crores they've spent. So for cricket, I won't say I won't say anything because you have these kind of stadiums all over the world. But like football stadiums, if you go to Real Madrid football stadium or the Bayern Munich football stadium or Barcelona football, they are all bigger than these and much more hype, and they are making those kind of money, so they can afford. But I'm talking about grassroots. We can't afford these stadiums in grassroots. We just need a playing field. We need some chain link fencing around. We need a proper lock and a guard to take care of it and open it to the public to play. And there should be a manager, there should be coaches and all, and that is how we can bring in these smaller grounds. I'm not talking stadium here. Stadium is a different ball game. We're talking about grounds, a hockey ground, a multi-sports ground, a football ground, a badminton hall. These kind of tennis arena or a small or any other sport,
Actually,
wrestling or boxing, whatever. We need these small arenas to be built in every district. Maybe 4 in a district. We need 5 in a district. So if we have 500 districts, so how many do we need? We need 2,000. So for 2,000, we need at least 5,000 crores, 10,000 crores.
Actually catering the lower strata
I'm
of
not
the
saying
society
give
as well.
10,000 crores day one, but our vision has to be that we have to start pouring in 10,000 crores a year. That is the kind of only sports infra. I'm not talking about salaries here. You have to have coaches. You have to have players who are mostly from poor families, so they need diet, so they need equipment. So the overall expenditure, I'm not talking about only infra, but overall the budgets have to be very, very high in a developing country like ours, where the youth is, I think 50% of our population is youth. We need to put so much more money to channelize the youth also, to bring them into the sporting frame of the world.
It's a very corporate term, but do you feel that this is called ROI, return over investment, which majorly even the policymakers would be looking after that? Oh, if we are pumping in so much of money, what's gonna get us? Is that something that will happen if
See,
money is
not for
pumped
the
into
government,
this?
because government is the only one who can put these infrastructure in grassroots towns and districts and cities. They will not be able to get any ROI in such kind of, but the ROI should be the players. It can't be written on real investment. The players are the ROI. Like if you can create 100 Neeraj Chopras, that is the ROI. You can't justify with real money. In cricket maybe you can, but in other sports you can't. Maybe not today. Maybe in the future there is money, but I'm not talking about only government. The responsibility also lies with the corporates. The corporates CSR funding, or corporates has 2% in under CSR. Why don't they start pouring in money in different kind of grassroots sports? Why only cricket or any other sport? As I was telling you, a lot of corporates, like I have personally worked with Timken and Tata Shelco and Aisha Motors and also DV's laboratories. They have all started making sports infrastructure in villages for the locals. They have started that process. I think Reliance also does something like that. But most of the corporates can put a lot of more money themselves, and it will suddenly become double than what the government is spending. I know SAIL just did a hockey stadium of their own. So right now there are many more corporates who are trying to bring in. Hindalco has we just made a sports stadium in Delhi called in Sudeva, which is Sudeva Football Club in Civil Lines. Where
this is for everyone or for players only?
For Sudeva Football Club, where the all kinds of talented players or grassroots players can come and join to play football. If you have talent, then a lot of people are trying to give you a lot of access to good sporting facilities, and education is free, food is free. So there are a lot of such centers mushrooming, but people are not talking about them. People don't know about them. So because of that, many talented people remain in silence for years, and then suddenly their playing years are over. So I think we need to talk more about sports, about these facilities, about things like what Gallant Play is doing. People don't know. When somebody comes to our arena in GK, they say, we did not know there was an arena in GK. We never thought that there can be a sporting arena so beautiful inside a place like Greater Kailash, or place like Vikaspuri, or place like South City in Gurgaon. So, or we have a arena in even Bahadurgarh or Panipat. So we are catering to whole of NCR, that wherever we can open a arena which is in our terms and conditions, where we can train people, or so we are opening, but people don't know about them because we are trying ourselves what best we can do. But people have to start talking more and more about sports, basically. Sports.
And almost moving towards the conclusion of this conversation, I really would like to know that seeing the sports niche for such a long period of time and actually working on the ground, whether with sports people or actually building the whole curriculum around it, what do you feel are the policy changes that at the moment India needs?
I think they are already, the government is already working towards policy change, and I think sports has, in the new education policy, I think the sports has been given the kind of importance it is required, but the implementation is not there. It is also about implementation.
That's with everything in India.
So if till it is not implemented like harshly, the schools have to be told that you have to give every day there has to be a sports period. Everybody has to play some sports or the other. The schools have to spend in their capital budget into sports infrastructure, into all weather surfaces, into badminton halls. They should be given special permissions to make those kind of halls for sports and for indoor and outdoor sports. Then they should be all high schools should have sporting facilities which are international level, so that the champions can be built from there to the next level, to the national level, and to the international level. So implementation is the key, because even if Khelo India is 1,000 crore, let's start with that. I have seen lot of these budgets gets expired because they have to spend till March 31st and they are not spending till March 31st, and then they suddenly
Gets
I've heard
drifted or
that
lost.
so they said you have not spent the money during the financial year, so it will not like we are taking back the money, or it goes to the next year. So we are not our implementation is one of the biggest issues therefore the growth is very slow. If we want the growth to be fast,
In
high
sports.
in sports, in sports surfaces, sports infras, players, medals, everywhere, everything in sports, the implementation part, the has to be very, very strong, and we have to, I think, have they have to be responsibility. Somebody has to be responsible. Why is it not implemented? That it has to be both ways. It can't be just the government has given the money, but it is not implemented. Who was responsible for this implementation, and why is it not implemented? What were the reasons? Why are these sports facilities not made in time? Why are the companies not reprimanded? Whoever has taken these kind of projects, why are they not doing in time? What are the kind of penalties? So these are some of the topics which we should talk about, and
No, we are talking.
yeah. So more and more people have to talk. Like we are talking because we are passionate about sports, but because there are many people who can talk about them, who have bigger followers, like our sports people, like who have millions of followers. They should be speaking because they are the ones who have followers. People can be talking about these things, and people are following them. People listen to them. People think, and once you start thinking, then implementation is easier. The framed policies can actually be successful. Right now, whether they will be successful or not is one of the biggest questions everybody has.
Yeah, definitely. And even for the school curriculum, I would say that there needs to be grassroots changes, as in with teachers, because I think this is very sad reality of it. But the teachers or the people or the PT teacher, जिसे बोलते हैं, the people who are actually teaching people sports are usually those people who didn't end up getting any vacancy in any other subject.
Yeah.
And just because they didn't get it, so चलो sports कर लेते हैं. So I think from there also it's the
no. आजकल I think the policies have changed. They are all looking for NIS graduates and all that in sports also, but not all schools. Many of these schools are just yeah, you are right that okay, you just उनको PT करवा दो. So that is something which is like PT or yoga करवा दो and all ना, but those are for kids who are smart kids and so much of energy. These are not the things which works for them. The yoga and PT and all doesn't work. They all need to channelize their energies in sports. They want to play. They want to run. If you see, they are running after a football. They are not, or they are trying to play cricket because their energies have to be burned. Like if they don't, then otherwise they will go in a wrong direction. Also, that's what they say that if you have to channelize the energies of these kids. So sports is one of the only ways to channelize those energies in the right direction.
Definitely. I guess that was all from my side, and perhaps this is a very good thought to end this conversation on. I really hope that people take this conversation more seriously and actually start discussing sports more in their outer circles, inner circles. But in all good spirits, it was really lovely chatting with you.
Thank you very much. I think it was a very, very interesting topic. I think for you also and I think Gallant is trying to inculcate that sporting culture in India, and therefore I thought that let's start talking about it. Let's start talking more and more about sports and about various topics. And thank you for calling me. Thank you for the.
I hope you had a great time.
Yeah, I had a great time. Thank you.
Thank you so much for doing this, sir.